If you're playing Warframe in 2025 and you still don't have a Panzer Vulpaphyla, you're missing out. It's one of the most reliable and effective companions in the game. It's got great survivability, great utility, and it's dead simple to maintain. In this video, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to get one for yourself, step by step with no fluff. Before we dive in, why should you even care about the Panzer? What makes it so good? Well, unlike traditional companions, Vulpaphylas, they don't really die. They devolve into a larval state and then automatically revive after a short delay. That's already huge, but it gets even better. The Panzer specifically spreads viral status with its Viral Quills mod, increasing enemy damage taken. That means more damage output for you and better scaling into something like the Steel Path. It's self-sufficient, efficient, and ridiculously low maintenance. It's one of the best all-around companions in the game, and you're going to want to get it. You can even equip a mod to it called Resourceful Retriever that gets you double the resources. Here's what you're going to need to get your Panzer up and running. I'll go into each in detail, but if you want a checklist up front, here it is. You're going to need a Tranq rifle from Sun or the Business for 500 standing from their respected syndicate, the Archwing launcher segment obtained after the Archwing quest, the rank of Stranger with the Entradi syndicate, the Vulpaphyla Echolure from Sun on Deimos, a few Vulpaphyla pheromone glands, again from Sun on Deimos, a weakened Panzer Vulpaphyla captured in the Cambion Drift, and finally, a fully crafted Adra Mutigen and Dacis Antigen. Their blueprints can be bought from Sun as well. First up, you need a Tranq rifle. This is a universal tool for capturing wildlife in Warframe. You can buy it from the Business in Fortuna or Sun in the Necrolisk for 500 standing. Either one works. I recommend buying it from Sun on Deimos since you're already going to be dealing with him later. Equip it to your gear wheel, and don't worry if you've never done wildlife conservation before, this guide is going to walk you through it. Next, you're going to want to be able to fly. The Cambion Drift is massive, and Panzers can spawn far away from the entrance. You need an Archwing launcher segment crafted and installed in your foundry. To do that, you want to complete the Archwing quest, then install the Archwing launcher segment in your ship, craft the Archwing launcher in your foundry with resources from the Plains of Eidolon. It's going to take a little bit of time to get going, but it speeds up the Panzer hunting process by quite a bit. Now comes the grind. You need to reach the rank of Stranger with the Entradi Syndicate to unlock the items needed for Panzer conservation and crafting. You'll earn standing by turning in tokens to Grandmother in Deimos. If you're new, you can check out my video on how to farm Syndicate standing. I'm going to have it linked in the description below so you can find out the quickest and easiest ways of ranking up with every Syndicate in the game, including the Entradi. It takes a little bit of effort, but once you hit Stranger, which is only one rank higher than your starting rank, you're going to unlock everything you need to get a Panzer. Now that you're a Stranger, go back to Sun and you want to buy two things. The Vulpaphyla Echolure and several Vulpaphyla pheromone glands. Start with 5 or 10 so you don't break the bank. The Echolure is going to be what helps you call in specific animal species, in this case the Vulpaphyla. The pheromone gland increases the chance that the Panzer version of the species appears instead of the basic Sly or Crescent ones. Don't forget to equip both of these to your gear wheel. Now it's time to go hunting. You want to head into the Cambion Drift, but you want to make sure that it's the right time. The Panzer only appears during Vass's cycle, not Vom. You can see which one is active by checking your map by pressing M. Equip your Tranq rifle while you're in the Cambion Drift, making sure that you have a Vulpaphyla Echolure selected. If Vulpaphyla is selected and you open your map, the Vulpaphyla tracking points are going to be marked. Travel to one and follow the Vulpaphyla's footsteps on the floor until you reach the call point. Once you reach the call point, use a few of the Vulpaphyla pheromone glands. I usually use 5, and that makes the Panzer version spawn pretty consistently. Now you want to use your Echolure to call on the Vulpaphyla and pray that you get a Panzer version to spawn in. If you attract the Panzer Vulpaphyla, what we have to do now is weaken it by letting an infested enemy damage it. This is quite tricky because we want to avoid being detected, hence why we fly into the air in our Archwing after calling on the Panzer, but we don't want to fly too far away from the Vulpaphyla so it doesn't despawn. If you have a Warframe that can go invisible, you might want to use them here just to make this step a little bit easier. Float around the Panzer until it meets some infested enemies. Let the infested enemies weaken the Panzer. then swoop in and interact with the panzer to capture it in its weakened state. Once you've successfully captured a weakened panzer, go back to Sun in the Necrolisk. You'll now need to create your own Vulpaphyla using Sun's revivification system. To do that, you need two components. Number 1, an Adra mutagen, and number 2, a Dacis antigen. Both of these blueprints can be bought from Sun, and they both require resources from the Cambrian Drift to be crafted. You can find most of the resources while doing bounties in the Cambrian Drift. If you're struggling to find the resources to craft your antigen and your mutagen, don't worry, there's something you can do after the Warframe quest to get easy mining and also fishing materials from demos if you're not really a big fan of doing either of those activities. So like I said, you can only do this after the Warframe quest because it requires you to use your operator and their amp. And basically what we're doing is we're going to be running around the Cambrian Drift and we're going to be looking for these little tires here. And as you can see, it's called a reactive crystal and it's got a little symbol above it. If I get a little bit closer, you might be able to make it out a little bit better. That health bar is kind of in the way, but that is the CRA symbol. Now, the different tires are going to have different symbols, and the symbol basically represents the task that you have to do to get bonus resources from the tire. So on screen now, I'm going to have a little infographic from the Warframe community Discord, which shows you all of the symbols and it tells you exactly what you need to do to get bonus resources from the tire. So this is the CRA symbol and it reads, the pillar pulses every few seconds. The pulse slows mobs. The pillar drops resources when or if the slowed mobs are killed in operator mode. So what we have to do is we have to approach the little tire. Now we just shoot it with our operator's amp. The enemies are going to spawn in around it and we're going to see this little tire is going to start doing stuff like slowing the enemies down eventually. So there is a little pulse there and doesn't really look like any of the enemies were slowed, but I'm pretty sure if we go and kill the enemies, what'll happen is the tire's going to start to drop resources on the ground. Like you can see there, we got some parasitic tether moss, some more fishing resources, just a bunch of different stuff. So unfortunately, the resources that you get, they are quite random, so there's no way for you to guarantee that you're going to get the exact resources that you need. But if you want to avoid doing those, you know, super annoying activities, which is fishing and mining, well, this is what you got to do. And there's many different spawn points for these tires. So I've put lock pins beside all of the tires in the Cambrian Drift. That's going to be unique to my Warframe account because this is just something I went and manually done. But I'll display another little mini map on screen now with basically a route you can run to go and see where all of the tires are. And this is again thanks to the Warframe community Discord, so link is going to be in the description to that server so you can go check out all of the stuff in there. You just want to make sure that you don't activate the tires that have the Netra symbol, the lock symbol, or the Zada symbol, because those three basically are too difficult or just not really that profitable, so just ignore those ones. Another thing you can do to get bonus resources for the antigen and mutagen is the isolation vaults. Now, when you run the isolation vaults, obviously you have to complete the objective to complete the bounty, but there's a bonus objective where you can open up like a vault room, and in this vault room is containers that you can destroy, and whenever you destroy those containers, you get some of the cool resources. So I know for sure that these containers can drop the dendrite blastoma, and that's a resource that you need for either the antigen or mutagen. I don't remember which one it is, but you get the point. So once you do an isolation vault mission and you've actually completed it, you can see that it says beneath the little extraction symbol, bonus activate the reactive crystal at the vault. So you have to run around the cave or tunnel, find this door, then walk up here and shoot the reactive crystal with your operator. Now, Lloyd is going to spawn in. I recommend playing Volt for this because what you can do is you can use your speed ability to speed Lloyd up. Now, he has to go and activate 4 of those little reactive crystals, and you just have to defend him. So just make sure to keep on refreshing your speed ability every single time that he's done, and he's going to go between the 4 reactive crystals pretty quickly. Then once he's done with the 4 reactive crystals, you head back down to the big door. You remember the symbols. So that's Kra, Zada, Fas, and Vom. So Kra, Zada,
Bass, and Vom in that order. So just like it's shown on the door. Now you run around this little vault room, just destroy all of the containers. And there you go. We just got a bunch of resources that we're going to need for crafting stuff.
These components control what polarities your Panzer has and its resistance stats, but don't really matter at all. They're just the earliest you can get. It costs 5,000 credits, the weakened Panzer, and then the 2 crafted components to complete your Panzer Revivification. At this point, you're going to have your Panzer, but it isn't fully unlocked yet. To gain mastery from it, we need access to full customization. So to do that, we need to gild it. Gilding requires your Panzer to be level 30, 10 Sun tokens, and 5,000 Intrati standing. Do all of this as soon as possible to unlock lensing, polarities, which is basically just forming, and proper modding potential. Gilding is another thing that Sun allows you to do, so you have to head back to Sun to do this. Once you've got your Panzer and you've gilded it, here's the build that I recommend shooting for. This is going to give you a lot of buffs, double loot drops sometimes, viral procs on enemies, and stop you from taking unnecessary deaths as the Panzer can save you from dying. A good Panzer is basically a persistent viral bot that has built-in scaling and survivability. It's going to follow you into the toughest content and basically never let you down. Now that we've got ourselves a Panzer Vulpaphyla, we're going to want to get ourselves a lot of endo to rank up all of the mods so we can jump into really difficult steel path content. So click the video that's on screen now to learn how to farm up a lot of endo. But that's basically it. From standing rank to conservation tricks, now you know exactly how to get your own Panzer Vulpaphyla in Warframe. If you find this guide helpful, hit the like button, it really helps out, and drop a comment if you want me to make more companion builds or tips. Subscribe to the channel for more Warframe content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.